All right, Coach, the opportunity to open up the 2024 season on national TV. Share what that opportunity means to you in this program.
Well, really excited for our players and our program. We had the opportunity to do that really the last 2 years, and it was I think it was a lot of fun for our guys. And certainly playing on a Thursday night with some national TV is going to be good for our program. And our guys have worked hard at that. I don't think we've really kind of thought about too much of the TV thing. We've just been worried about getting ready to play. But they've worked hard. I'm really proud of our guys and ready to play games, see what we got.
Open it up to questions.
Got a lot of new players. In the past, you seem to have been good at being able to get the new players on board. Can you talk about how it's gone so far?
It did. It's I guess this is probably norm now for this day and age with transfer portal. What it is, I mean, we have I think almost half our team are new guys, which is usually really difficult to manage. But I think the returning players that we got really helped those guys understand our culture, and then we didn't waver any shape or form in how we do things culturally wise. You know, we want to make sure that those guys are coming in here, the new guys, they're good players, but they had to adapt to what we did, the way we do things. And they did a good job of that. And I think they'll continue to do that. And that's just, I mean, that makes it harder nowadays when you got 60 or whatever it is we got new, but they've done a good job of that. And now the games, they got to make sure they maintain that during the season.
Along those lines, with guys like Webb and Jay Rogan, kind of who are the emerging leaders on this team, and what's kind of the leadership?
Yeah, we got a big senior class. There's 25 guys, but about 10 of them or so are new. And so, those guys can help a little bit of leadership, but it's really like J-Rock and Sean, the guys that have been here for 3 years, the whole time since we've been here, are the ones that got to kind of take charge from the leadership standpoint. Now, I always said this. I'm not worried about leadership during practice. That's what coaches are for. But, off the field, in the locker room, in game preparation on their own time, that's where it takes hold. And the handful of seniors that have been here the whole time, I think have done a good job of that and have to do a good job of that.
Just going into it, obviously, where do the quarterbacks stand? It's been I guess the main topic all off season.
Yeah, we got a lot of them and good ones too. I mean, we got right now if we don't play today, we don't have to name a starter until the kickoff. But both Logan and Tyler Huff are the two older guys, and Logan has a little more experience in our system. But Tyler's an experienced player, played a lot of football, has done a good job. So those two are, right now, in my opinion, co-starters. And then Zion Turner's right behind them as well. So we've got, 3 guys that have gotten a lot of game experience, which is a good thing. Now, it's all new for some of them in their system, but I feel pretty comfortable that with those 3 guys playing, and even Caden Creel and Tayshawn Smoot have shown some good stuff too. So I think we're deeper at quarterback than probably certainly than we've been in the last couple of years.
How many quarterbacks would you like to play Thursday?
Well, certainly 2 for sure, but maybe 3, and depending on what happened, could be 4. I mean, it's not. I'm a little different where people say you got to go with a guy and ride a guy, and I don't want our guys to ever go in there and say, if I make a mistake, I'm getting pulled. It ain't. Certain quarterbacks are better at certain plays. And early in the season, they can't predict which plays you're going to run with each quarterback because they don't know what they're going to do. I do. We know what they're best at. But I know Logan and Tyler are going to play for sure, and I wouldn't be shocked if Zion gets some reps too. So, and it's all they've all been running all the stuff. I mean, it's not like this guy's running. We've had every quarterback run everything, so I feel good with that.
Just going to is it a little easier to game plan? Obviously, things change year to year. Even you talk about the 60 new guys here, but you played them last year. Does that make this a little easier?
Yeah, yes, a little bit, but they've got a lot of new guys as well. So it's been, I mean, and I don't have a depth chart or anything, so I couldn't, other than what we read and what we see from the returning guys, we don't know a whole lot about them. I think we probably have more guys that they're familiar with if you look at our depth chart. But at the same time, they've got the same coaches. They do a great job. They're very multiple on defense. They do a whole lot of stuff that makes it hard to prepare for. And then, offensively, I know their coordinator pretty well. Travis Trickett does a great job. So they're well coached and they're probably one of the first group of fives that kind of emerged, with their program when they first moved up. I mean, they hit it pretty good and did a great job. I don't want to say this is really our first full-fledged year as Division 1A, and so we're still growing with that. But we're ready to play a game. I'm ready to let our guys have some fun.
So you finished second in rushing attempts per game last season, and all of FBS finished third in total rushing offense last year. And you've always had a prolific rushing attack. What do you think has been the driving force behind that, despite college football changing, despite the roster turnover, and the different schemes you see thrown at you every year?
I think it starts up front with our O-line and our tight ends. Those guys got to take a lot of pride in blocking in the run game. And also with our quarterbacks, our quarterbacks have to be willing runners. They ain't got to be, before I've had some really, really fast ones, but they all been willing. And so our quarterback, we got to have some willing runners there. And we work hard at it. We take a lot of great pride. Coach Trickett does a great job up front. Our tight ends take a lot of pride in their blocking skills. And, and I go taking the next step, if wideouts won't block here, they won't play. And so blocking on the perimeter is what allows you to get some of those big plays. So I think that starts with that, and then, the emphasis on our program. But, I like for us to be able to – I think we can throw the ball better than we have, and at times we've thrown the ball really well the last couple of years. But we're trying to take the next step with that too.
Clay Webb has gotten a lot of preseason mention, watch lists, all
Yeah, good for him.
Could you talk about him and what?
Yeah, I think I've seen him. Clay doesn't say a whole lot. This is to describe Clay Webb. Just look what phone he has. He has a flip phone. I mean, that's all you need to know about Clay Webb. He has a flip phone, and I'm not sure he uses it very often. But he loves football. I actually seen him. He's taken another step as far as understanding ball and having a little fun out there. And he's gotten better. But as I think all of our guys up front, I hope have gotten better. But it's nice to see Clay get some recognition because he's a really good football player. And I think I think when one guy gets some attention like that, I think a lot of times it helps some of the other guys. Whether it's pro scouts coming to practice or watching your games or the attention they'll get in our program. I think some coaches will like, I don't want him to get the attention. It's a team game. It is a team game, but I like for our guys to get recognized when they're doing well, and we've got a lot of guys doing well, so I hope they get recognized.
What does it mean for the program? Obviously, Clay got a bunch, but I think some other guys had some preseason award watch list, and I think it was 20 NFL teams came by. Just what does it do for the program when you guys are getting that type of attention?
Yeah, you want NFL guys. If you got NFL guys watching practice, that means you're probably recruiting the right way, right, or developing the right way. That's the way I see it. We're very open with that. If they want to come to any practice, they can come to any practice. They can watch any film they want. They can talk to me or any of the coaches, strength staff, medical staff anytime they want. And so we're very open, and we want to have guys every year that get drafted, they get free agent tryouts or whatever case may be, and that's part of when we're getting more guys around, we're growing as a program. We're 2 years ago we're 1AA. Last year we're in transition. This is our first year in it. So if we do our job as coaches, and this facility helps and all that, we'll get more and more guys recognized.
Could you talk about these two guys and what makes them important to you guys?
Yeah, I've been here since day one. I mean, not only as good football players, but the type of guys that have a hard edge, that work hard, want to earn success since the day we got here. I think we were talking about it. I can remember my first team meeting when kind of about in this area where the old building was, in the old team meeting room. Not quite looked like this one. But I can remember there might be, I don't know, 15 guys left from that initial meeting. There might have been 30 in that meeting. And there might be, I don't know, 12 or 15 of those left, and these are two of them. That it's come a long way. We still got a ways to go. I mean, I think everybody will tell you that, but just to what we've done in the span of 2.5 years is because of the guys like those two right there.
Coach, we're a year in with the new clock rules. How have they affected the way you call the game? And do you see the new 2-minute warning being a factor in you calling the games differently in the pattern and the game situation?
No, we actually talked about it the last 2 days, how the 2-minute warning would affect particularly the end of the game. The end of the half, it's not a big deal, but the end of the game, if you got a lead, how much time can you run off the clock? And so it adjusts a little bit if the clock is over 2 minutes. If it's under 2 minutes, obviously it's not a big deal. But over 2 minutes, adjust a little bit. It gives them 30 more seconds or so on offense you got to burn. But outside of that, it doesn't really affect us at all. We're a tempo team a lot of times, so we're trying to run the pace. But there's really, I think our biggest thing is that we want our guys to understand the situations and know, not just the clock situation with down distance. That's one thing we really, really emphasize with our players. But when the games, things happen a lot faster. So hopefully our guys, they should be ready for that.
What about on other rules, the helmet communication? We talked, I think, in the spring about it.
Yeah, we didn't get to use it in the spring, but we've used it the last couple of weeks in practice. The quarterbacks having it and one player on defense having it, and I think it'll help. In particular, you can't have everybody, talking to them, and so you only just want one singular voice. So I don't know if it's a major deal, but it does. I mean, it can cut down on the number of signals we got to have. It can help the quarterbacks communicate a little bit. I'm not worried about when it shuts off because I think that's a long enough time to get your plays in anyway. But the tablets are a new thing too. I'm going to have to learn how to use the tablets. I'm not great with technology, so we practiced it a little bit last week. I might have to do it again tomorrow at practice or something. Get used to the tablets just to kind of. You don't have a whole lot of time, but some of these TV timeouts, are really, really long. And like I said, what are you going to do? Just sit there? What gives you time to maybe look at something on the tablet to see what they're doing?
Will you be the communicator with the
No.
quarterback? Or?
No, it'll be in one of the coaches in the box. That's probably a good thing. They probably don't want to hear me because I could go off script a little bit, especially if the officiating is questionable to me, which we got good officials, but sometimes I get off script a little bit and I get involved in too much stuff, special teams or defense and all that stuff too.
Coach, I just want to ask about the scrimmage from this past week. What looked good? Were there any players that specifically stood out to you?
I kind of remember. I'm trying to remember yesterday's practice. We only scrimmaged 2 big full-scale scrimmages. We had kind of little mini live periods, but I thought both of our scrimmages, the first one we had too many. I thought we had too many loafs, but that's typical. I think guys are still learning how to play. And the second one, we got a lot better. The guys playing hard all the time. So that was the thing that stood out the most to me. And I think we have more truly open competitions at several positions, maybe more so on defense where there's, you just about every position, but especially in the back end, there's some real good competition going on. So it was kind of like, more co-starters and more guys that we feel comfortable with playing. Defensively, we hadn't been able to play a lot of guys the last couple of years. I think this year we're a little bit deeper, especially in the secondary as far as guys, and that's what the scrimmage kind of showed me, that there wasn't a lot of guys that separate themselves, but that wasn't a bad thing. I think it was a good thing because we have more depth.
Just going into the season, how are you guys standing health-wise?
Not bad. We lost Ronnie Wiggins for a long time. He's going to be out 10 weeks, which that's because he's a really good player. And so we've lost Ronnie. We lost receiver Dalen Wright early in camp for the season, and he was one of our faster guys. And then some young guys are banged up, but we've stayed healthy in the last week or so that's a good thing. He's got and initially it was just we thought it was a turf toe, but then it's some kind of a ligament surgery required actually this morning. He just had surgery this morning. So, whether he could get maybe a redshirt year, he might be able to come back at the end of the season. We don't know yet.
Other questions for Coach?
One last one. Talk about these great facilities and the fans coming in and all the new things you've got for this year.
Yeah, I think once you walk into our AmFirst Stadium, you're going to recognize a few new things. This building first, and the ribbon board that goes underneath that. On the visitor side, is that the north side, or I don't know I don't know north and south. I know the sun sets in the west, but anyway, with the visitor side, we got some outdoor suites. And they finished that up. That looks pretty good. I think our new first thing you notice is our new turf, which I think looks really good. My daughter Raquel. Shout out to her for designing that. It looks really, really good. And I think the fans will like the look of that as well. So that's new. And I think it just, the stadium looks clean and sharp. And I'm hoping we'll have a great crowd. I mean, obviously to get the Marching Southerners, we should have a great student turnout because it's a Thursday night and class has just started. And so I think we'll have a great crowd. It should be a really, really good atmosphere. And, everything. This facility obviously is really nice. So we're very blessed to have what we have right now.
We got a lot of the same guys from last year that are coming back. Got some new guys coming in at tight end, the running back room. But, for the most part, I think we have a bunch of experienced guys, like he was saying with Tyler coming in, Zion coming in. They have a lot of playing experience, but, we're confident whether any of them get into the game.
Questions for Sean?
Just quarterback wise, what is your opinion of being a pass catcher just with all the quarterbacks?
I kind of talked about this a couple of weeks ago with our media days. They all have a different kind of style. They all have a different way they throw the ball, different, velocity. They all have different mindsets about it too. But, just through camp, they all roll with the 1s, 2s, and 3s. So, I mean, I think everybody's confident, in catching the ball from any of them, really.
You've been one of the more highly touted G5 tight ends over the last couple of years. What's kept you at Jacksonville State? I'm sure you've had other teams come and talk to you or try to poach you away. Why are you still here sitting at the presser at Jacksonville State?
I love it here. I'm only about 30, 45 minutes from home here. But I couldn't honestly think of a better place that I could be at, with this new coaching staff. All the players here love to play football, just like he talks about all the time. So I really couldn't think of a better place to be.
What was it that drew you to Jacksonville State in the first place?
Kind of like what I just said, real close to home. Old coaching staff I had talked to a little bit in high school. Just being close to home and, playing around people that really know you.
You were in a boot early in camp. What was that in?
I had a little bit of an ankle sprain, kind of, but I'm all good now. It was more of a precautionary thing than anything.
You didn't like being down there with those other
No,
guys?
I did not. Couldn't stand it.
Share some thoughts on taking some pride in your blocking as well as the receiving. Obviously, everybody wants the ball, but to put your nose into somebody else's chest, you kind of taking some pride in that aspect of the game as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's really just kind of doing whatever it takes to win. It's no secret that we like to run the ball, and everybody knows that we can pass. But when you run the ball as well as we do, I mean, I don't really see a reason that we would need to force anything like that. So I mean, but like Coach Raw was saying, with the receivers, everybody takes pride in it, because everybody knows that it really helps us win.
Other questions for Sean?
Yeah, Sean, you've been a safety valve for the quarterbacks for years past. Does that give you some kind of chip on your shoulder when it goes to playing games?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely gives you some confidence knowing that, people trust you or the quarterbacks trust you like that. But, I don't really want to see it too much as a safety valve, really. I mean, everybody in this offense has their role. But, I just really take pride in, doing what I can to help us win.
Do you consider yourself a pass catcher first, a blocker first, or both of them equally?
I think you can ask anybody around here. I would definitely consider myself an extra offensive lineman.
What excites you about taking the field on Thursday night?
I would say what excites me is playing on TV. Every time you get to play on TV, it's fun. You get to show like new faces, people that haven't seen Jacksonville State play football. They can see us on TV.
Coming from when you first got here, they're playing on ESPN Plus a lot too. Now you guys are going to be on, one of the main, I guess this week's CBS, but you're going to be on ESPN later in the season. You've been on ESPN last. What is that like for you guys? Just watch the progression of this program?
It's good just from coming in 2020. We didn't have a lot of publicity, but I would say just playing football and lining up. It's just you got to go out there and play football no matter what. If you're on TV, ESPN, plus even if you're not on TV, like you got to go out there and perform. So it doesn't matter.
J-Rock, you're one of the guys that was here when it was an FCS program. How does that color your perspective when you're being a leader on this team and what you tell some of the guys?
The coaches, you just got to listen to your coaches, do your job. You got to come out and line up and play football, no matter if you're playing FBS or FCS football. I think football is the same. Everybody 18, 19, 20 years old, maybe have some that's 24, 25. You still got to line up and play physical.
You're on your, like, I don't know for sure, the third or fourth defensive coordinator over the course of your career. What's been like your role in these defenses? How has it changed? How is it a little bit similar? And how have you adjusted over the course of your career?
You just got to adapt to the culture. I mean, you got a lot of coaches that coach different. Like, Coach Adley last year, he just coached different than the coaches that we have now, but you got to be able to adjust. I mean, with life, everything ain't going to change. You just got to be able to adapt to what it is.
You play a very physical position. You've been at it a long time. How do you manage to be able to hold up physically the way you have?
I would say just getting up in the morning, stretching. A lot of things you have to do. Like this morning, I was up at like 7:30 in the training room trying to get treatment on my legs and things like that. Just got to get in the cold and hot tub and stay fresh as best you can.
You obviously suffered that injury in the LA Tech game last season. Are you 100% to go this Thursday for Coastal?
Yeah, I'm 100%. Just got to stay in treatment.